Hey guys, I'm Johnny Mack, host of the Soul Seekers podcast and TV show. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you're not subscribed, please go do so. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up as it helps share our mission of mentorship as conservation. So in today's video, we're going to talk about e-scouting for fall black bear, one of my favorite animals to hunt and the very first big game animal that I ever killed. So when it comes to bear hunting, there's a couple things you need to understand. Number one, you gotta find the food source, especially in the fall, because these bears are looking at packing on as many possible calories as they can before winter hibernation sets in. So when we are scouting, we're looking for food sources. How are we going about that? Well, we're gonna talk about that here shortly as I dive into onX Maps and look at a location that I picked. Second thing is, we're looking for the ability to glass. And we're looking for the ability to glass a large expanse of terrain. We don't want to have just a narrow field of view because that is going to limit our opportunities to spot more animals. And the third thing that we're going to be focusing on is water. Bears need water. In those hot summer days and hot fall nights, they want water and need it. They also use these drainages as highways to travel up and down in because they're typically heavily timbered and provide great shade for them as well on their way out to the berry patches. So if we take a look right here and we dive into onX Maps, what we're gonna be looking at is we're gonna be looking at this section of land that I selected for my fall bear hunt. Now, as I look at this map, there's a couple things that stand out to me. Number one, we have an old logging road, so there is different access for us to get in. There's a trail up above on the ridge, and right now I am in 3D hybrid view within onX. What I like about this is that this bowl right here is all a south-facing slope. I also have this beautiful south-facing slope right here that I can access. So if I come down off this trail along this ridge, I have a couple different glassing knobs marked already as locations for us to talk about. So number one, I might end up going probably to this side first. It's a little less steep. It's not as intimidating. However, over on this side, this bowl looks to be very, very promising, especially with that water coming down at the bottom. So as I switch it over to 2D, let's take a closer look at what I'm looking at. So right here, you can see the creek down the bottom, but if we zoom in, you can see in this area there's heavy patches of timber, but there's a lot of green, and that green is typically bushes or berry producing flora. This vegetation is going to hold food sources for these bears. And what you're going to find is that they love coming out into these pockets, and when the berries are ripe, they're going to be there and they're just going to be on the move. When you're glassing for bears, bears do not just stay still very long. If I find something that I think is a potential black bear, I'm going to glass it for at least 30 seconds. If I don't see it move, I'm going to move on myself because bears, unless they're sleeping, are always on the move. Now, I used onX line measurement tool already to identify how far from this glassing knob to that open meadow is, and that is 700 yards. Why is this critical? It's because I recommend all black bear hunters to be able to shoot out to 500 yards, especially when you're shooting from canyon to canyon or across a draw. The further you can shoot, the better opportunity you're going to have, because a lot of times when you're hunting mountainous terrain is the terrain topography or the vegetation such as taller trees can start blocking your field of vision and also your shooting lane. So if you can't close the distance by foot, have the ability to shoot at a comfortable distance. So right here, I am targeting these open green areas in between the timber. The creek drainage is the bears are gonna use as highways, and then they're gonna come up into these open green areas. If we scoot on over here to the right to this other glassing area that I marked, I actually feel like that might not be the best spot. I'd probably move it closer over here, but what I'm going to be looking at is up into this bowl and this hillside. Animals are going to be on this hillside out feeding. They're going to have water close by, and they have heavy timber cover as well. These are what I'm focusing on for locations. Now, when I start finding an area on a map that I like and I love, the next thing that I'll do is I will get off of Onyx and I will go attack trail reports from hikers. I like to work smarter, not harder, and I allow other people to do scouting for me. So whether it's a Trails Association website or different Facebook hiking groups, whatever you can do to go back in history, read trail reports, because on these trail reports, it'll have stuff said like, oh, the berries were phenomenal, we picked them as much as possible, or we actually encountered a couple animals on our hunt. There was a covey of grouse, or there was bears in the area, or we encountered bear hunters, or whatever it is. Use these other people to scout for you as we digitally scout and do our research as well. So that's a little nugget I like to add in there. So as we look at this map once again, we got lots of areas where there's going to be berries and places to focus on. Now, if you didn't hear me mention earlier, when it comes to berries, we're looking for huckleberries, blueberries, blackberries, choke cherries, kinnikinick berries are also called bearberries. These are all areas of food sources for these black bears in the fall. Sit and be patient and glass, but this is what I'm looking for, and I hope that this is something that you can take and say, okay, I want to look at what Johnny used on his Onyx. How can I replicate that in an area in which I'm hunting? Use that, apply it to your own e-scouting, and go have a blast. The more days you spend afield, the more success you're going to have. With that being said, I love to use bear hunting as an opportunity to cross-train and scout for other other seasons. I've had opportunities to kill turkeys and deer from my spring bear locations and also fall bear locations. So use it as an opportunity to scout for other animals as well. So dialing in spring bear one more time. Food source. Find open green patches in aerial imagery or topographical mixed hybrids that allows you to see what the land looks like. Does it look green? Yes, then I want to focus my efforts there. Does it look like it's not heavily timbered? Yes, open meadowy areas from the imagery, focus on those. And then pick out some different glassing knobs that give you an opportunity to glass and not be bored, because you're going to be sitting there and glassing for quite some time. Second thing is be able to shoot out to 500 yards. Be able to shoot at longer distances. It will give you the best success and opportunities to fill your tags. The third thing is that you want to focus on is make sure that there's water in the area. These bears use these creeks and drainages as highways to travel, but they also need to drink a lot of water. So if you have open meadows from your aerial imagery that you're seeing are not heavily timbered, you have found glassing knobs and the ability to see a large expanse of terrain, you then are looking for water resources and you're using outside resources such as trail reports from hikers to help you add multiple pieces to your puzzle to have a good, clear picture of where you're going to hunt this coming hunting season. If you guys have more questions, leave them in the comments below or go to our website at soulseekersnation.com, hit the contact us page, or you can connect with us through social media as well. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and X. I look forward to hearing how your hunting season goes. Remember that hunting has the power to transform lives through primal adventure, and that you can never outgive good, as mentorship is conservation. Thanks for tuning into this video. Thank you for checking it out. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and share it. And love to hear how things go for you. Be blessed. Remember that hunting bears is the best animal that you can hunt. Good luck. Stay soulful.